I never thought a stupid joke would change my life, especially one I said without thinking, holding a napkin twisted into a fake ring. But the look on her face when she answered me was not a joke at all. It was soft, serious, and it stayed with me long after she walked away that night. My name is David Miller. I am 26 years old, and I work as a software engineer in Columbus, Ohio. On paper, my life looks fine. I have a steady job with decent pay, flexible hours, and no one breathing down my neck. I live alone in a small downtown apartment with exposed brick walls and a narrow view of the Scioto River if you stand in the right spot by the window. It is quiet, clean, and controlled. That is how I like it. After my last relationship ended, I made sure life stayed that way. Predictable, safe, no surprises. That relationship lasted almost 10 years, from high school into my mid-20s. I thought it was forever. She thought I was boring. One day, she told me she needed someone more exciting, and just like that, she was gone. It broke something in me, so I built walls and routines and convinced myself I was better off alone. Most days followed the same pattern. Wake up, code, drink too much coffee, maybe hit the gym if I had the energy, then go home to microwave dinner and watch Netflix until I fell asleep. No drama, no heartbreak, just silence. Some nights that silence felt peaceful. Other nights it felt heavy, like it was pressing in on my chest. My friends noticed. Matt, my old college buddy, was married with a kid and loved giving advice. Sarah worked in marketing and treated my love life like a project that needed fixing. Every time we met for drinks, they pushed. Matt told me life was too short to hide behind a laptop. Sarah told me to download a dating app and stop being stubborn. I laughed it off, said I was fine. Mostly, I believed it. Then, one slow Thursday afternoon in early spring, something shifted. Work was quiet. The sun was out. I felt stuck and restless for no clear reason. On a whim, I downloaded a dating app Sarah always talked about. I told myself I was just browsing. No pressure. I set up a simple profile. One photo from a hike last summer. A short bio about liking coffee shops and sci-fi books. Nothing flashy. A few swipes later, I matched with Lily Chen. She was 29 and worked as a real estate agent. Her profile felt real. No perfect selfies. Just photos of her with her cat at a farmer's market, smiling like she was not trying too hard. Her bio said she loved coffee, avoided drama, and laughed at bad puns. I sent a message without overthinking it, joking about her cat plotting world domination. She replied almost immediately. From there, it was easy. Too easy. We talked about our favorite places in Columbus, about work, about weird clients and late nights. She sent me a photo of her cat mid-yawn, and I laughed out loud at my desk. I realized hours had passed without me checking the time once. After a few messages, I joked that if we made it past 10 without boring each other, I would buy her coffee. By message 11, I told her the deal was on. She picked the place. That Saturday, I showed up early to the coffee shop, nerves kicking in harder than I expected. I had not been on a real date in years. I kept thinking about what could go wrong. What if it was awkward? What if she did not show? Then I saw her through the window. She was sitting at a corner table, scrolling on her phone, dark hair falling over one shoulder. When she looked up and smiled, something in my chest shifted. The smile was warm and real. We started safe, talking about work, the city, small things. But somewhere between muffins and shared laughter, the walls I had built started to crack. She told stories with her hands, laughed easily, leaned in without even realizing it. I forgot about time. 3 hours passed, like nothing. When we finally stood to leave, I felt that pull I had not felt in years. I did not want the moment to end. Trying to lighten the feeling, I twisted a napkin into a ring and held it out, half joking, half nervous. "Will you marry me?" I said, smiling. I expected her to laugh. She did not. She looked at me, eyes soft and serious, and said quietly, "I hope you keep that promise." In that moment, everything changed. Her words followed me home that night. I replayed them while brushing my teeth, while lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, while the city hummed quietly outside my window. I hope you keep that promise." It was said softly, not dramatic, not playful. Honest. I had meant it as a joke, but her answer made it feel like something else, something real. The next few days felt different, lighter. I caught myself checking my phone more often, not with anxiety, but with a quiet sense of anticipation. Lily texted the next morning like nothing had changed, a photo of her latte with the caption "Fuel for another house" showing. I smiled at my screen like an idiot. Our messages became part of my day. Short updates. Funny stories. Little check-ins that felt natural. Easy. I told myself to stay calm, not to build it up into something bigger than it was. But when she suggested meeting again, I did not hesitate. We met that Saturday morning at a bakery she loved. I put more effort into getting ready than I had in years. Clean shirt. Fresh shave. I told myself it meant nothing, but I knew it did. She was already there when I arrived, wearing a soft blue sweater, her hair pulled back simply. She smiled when she saw me, the kind of smile that made a room feel warmer. We ordered pastries and sat by the window. The conversation picked up like no time had passed at all. She told me about a client who made her unlock a house at dawn just to feel the vibes. I laughed and told her about a server crash that kept me up all night. Somewhere between stories, things started to deepen. Not forced, just honest. We took a walk after, wandering through quiet streets lined with old trees and small shops. She asked about my dreams beyond work. I admitted I wanted to travel someday, maybe write stories from life. She lit up and told me she dreamed of Italy, real pasta, slow days. It surprised me how easy it was to share these things with her. Eventually, the conversation turned to past relationships. She spoke carefully, but there was pain there. She told me about always being the one who gave more, the one who stayed, only to be left when things got serious. I felt that familiar ache of recognition and told her about my 10-year relationship, about being called predictable, about building walls afterward. She looked at me and said predictable was not a bad thing. Reliable mattered. Her words settled into me in a way I did not expect. As we walked back, she brought it up. The napkin ring. My stomach tightened. I admitted it was impulsive, that I did not mean to scare her. She stopped and faced me, her expression open and vulnerable. "But what if it was not just a joke?" she asked. I did not have a perfect answer. I just told her the truth. That I had never connected with someone this fast. That it scared me, but I wanted to see her again. She smiled, shy and relieved, and said she wanted the same. Our third date came during the week. She had a late meeting, so I brought food to her office. We ate in an empty conference room, sitting on the table, fries scattered between us. That night, the walls came down a little more. I told her how my breakup had made me shut down emotionally, how routines were easier than risking pain again. She listened without interrupting. When she spoke, she admitted she was tired of being strong all the time, tired of feeling like a stepping stone in other people's lives. I reached for her hand without thinking. She squeezed back. From there, the little things started weaving us together. I dropped off coffee for her in the mornings when I could. She left books at my place with notes inside. Nothing big, just showing up. Weeks passed, then months. I introduced her to my friends at a picnic in the park. She fit in effortlessly, laughing, listening, being herself. But when my friends teased me about the napkin ring, I noticed her smile falter. Later, she admitted it meant more to her than she let on. That was when fear crept in. Old doubts. The voice that told me I was not exciting enough, not enough to keep someone long-term. I told her I was scared of letting her down. She told me she did not need perfect. She just needed real. For the first time in years, I wanted to believe that was enough. Things were good after that, steady in a way that felt new to me. Not boring, not forced, just real. We did not rush labels, but it was clear we were choosing each other. Mornings started with simple texts. "I am still here," she always replied. "Me too," sometimes with a coffee emoji, sometimes with a heart. It became our quiet promise. We learned each other's rhythms. When work stressed me out and I went quiet, she noticed and did not push. She would show up with tea, sit beside me, and let the silence do its work. When her days went bad, when clients backed out or deals fell apart, I listened. really listened. Not to fix things, just to be there. One week, I snapped at her over something small. I do not even remember what it was. Old habits rising up when I felt overwhelmed. The moment the words left my mouth, I regretted them. I expected her to pull away. Instead, she showed up at my apartment that evening with food and calm eyes. "We are human," she said. "Let's talk." We did. We apologized. We laughed at how stupid it all was. That night, something shifted again. I realized this was different. We were not running from discomfort. We were walking through it together. Then came the silence. One afternoon, her texts slowed. I told myself she was busy. She had a big closing coming up. The next day, her replies were short. By the third day, my chest felt tight in a way I recognized too well. Memories from my past crept in. The slow pull away. The guessing. The waiting. That Friday night, I could not take it anymore. I drove to her place without calling, my heart pounding the entire way. When she finally opened the door, she looked small. Her eyes were red, her hair messy, like she had been crying for days. Inside, her apartment felt off. Unfinished meals, a blanket tossed aside. She sat on the couch and hugged her knees, avoiding my eyes. "My ex is getting married," she said quietly. "I saw it online." The words landed hard. She told me she thought she was past it, but seeing it brought everything back. The feeling of not being chosen, of being left behind. She was scared, and instead of reaching out, she had shut down. I sat beside her and pulled her into a hug. She cried into my chest, and for the first time, I did not feel the urge to protect myself. I felt the urge to stay. "I am not leaving," I told her. "I cannot promise perfect, but I can promise I will stay." She looked up at me like she was afraid to believe it. Then she nodded. After that night, we were more careful with each other, more honest. We talked about fears instead of hiding them. I told her how much abandonment still scared me. She told me how tired she was of being strong. We made space for all of it. Time passed. Seasons changed. Our lives slowly intertwined. Clothes left behind. Coffee mugs shared. Her cat claiming my couch as his own. We dreamed out loud about trips, about living together someday, about a future that did not feel scary anymore. But deep down, I knew something. That napkin ring was no longer a joke, and I was not running from it anymore. I carried the ring in my pocket for weeks before I was ready to use it. A simple silver band from a small local jeweler. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, just real, like us. I still kept the paper napkin ring in my wallet too, worn and faded, a quiet reminder of how it all started. I planned it without telling anyone. No big setup, no crowd. I wanted it to feel like that first day. Easy, honest. Ours. I texted her midweek, same coffee shop, Saturday morning. She replied with a smile emoji and said she loved that place. She had no idea. That morning, my hands shook more than they ever had. I got there early, heart racing, and chose the same corner table. The barista recognized me and smiled, setting down a cappuccino like she knew something special was coming. I ordered muffins, chocolate for her, almond for me. When Lily walked in, the world narrowed. She wore a light dress and a jacket, her hair loose, her smile warm and familiar. She laughed when she saw me sitting there like a nervous kid. "This feels nostalgic," she said, sliding into the chair. We talked like always, about work, about small plans, about nothing important, and everything important. When the conversation slowed, I knew it was time. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the box. Her eyes widened. Her hand flew to her mouth. "That napkin ring was a joke," I said quietly. "But it was also the moment everything changed for me. You taught me how to open up again, how to stay. So I am asking for real this time." I opened the box. "Will you marry me?" She did not hesitate. Tears spilled as she nodded again and again. "Yes," she said. "I hoped you would." I slid the ring onto her finger and she laughed through tears as she pulled me into a hug. The coffee shop clapped softly around us, but all I felt was her arms and the steady beat of her heart against mine. Later, I pulled the paper ring from my wallet and handed it to her. "I think this belongs with you," I said. She smiled and tucked it into her purse. Our lucky charm. We did not rush the wedding. We moved in together first, a small place with creaky floors and a backyard just big enough for her cat to rule. We argued about closet space and laughed about burnt dinners. We built a life in small, quiet ways. Every morning still started the same. "I'm still here," I would text. "Me too," she always replied. We married the following spring by the river, surrounded by a few close friends and warm sunlight. No grand speeches. Just promises to choose each other in the ordinary moments. In the hard ones. In the quiet ones. Looking back, that first joke was never really a joke. It was a door I almost did not open. I am glad I did. Because some promises, even the accidental ones, are worth keeping.